This is the result of extreme engineering. Every aspect of a modern golf swing, the compression of the ball, the loft of the club, and the height of the grass, is dictated by a global rulebook that demands absolute precision. But humans were hitting things with sticks long before we had manicured greens. The Romans played paganica with leather balls stuffed with feathers. By the 1300s, people in the Netherlands were playing kolven, aiming at distant targets across the ice or through the streets. In China, during the Song dynasty, players used specialized clubs for a game called chuiwan, which even involved aiming for holes in the ground. It shows that the basic impulse of the game was already appearing in various cultures, centuries apart. Many historians spend years debating which of these was the true ancestor of golf. But that debate focuses on the wrong thing. Hitting a ball with a stick isn't an invention, it's a global habit. The real story isn't where that habit started. It's how a disorganized, ancient pastime was systematically engineered into the world's most strictly regulated sport. These are the Scottish links, natural coastal grasslands where trade brought early stick and ball games to a permanent home. In this environment, the sport stopped being a passing trend and became a national obsession. By 1457, the game was so popular that King James II officially banned it. He was worried his soldiers were spending so much time on the dunes that they were neglecting their archery practice, leaving Scotland's borders vulnerable. Once the ban was lifted, the game needed structure to survive. In 1744, a group of players in Edinburgh drafted the first 13 written rules of golf, moving the sport out of the realm of local folklore and into a formal legal framework. This was the most important structural shift in the game's history. Before 1764, the St. Andrew's Old Course had 22 holes. By merging the first 4 short holes into 2 larger ones, they arrived at a total of 18. It wasn't a choice based on geometry or tradition. It was a practical adjustment at one specific course that was immediately copied by every other club in the world, setting a permanent global standard. By writing down the rules and standardizing the length of a round, Scotland transformed a local activity into a predictable, scalable system that could be exported to any country with a patch of grass. But the new rules were soon held back by the tools being used to play the game. This is a feathery. It's a leather pouch stuffed with wet goose feathers and hand-stitched shut. Because they were handmade, no 2 balls were the same weight or size, making it impossible to play the game with any consistent accuracy. That changed in 1848 with the gutta. These were manufactured in molds, meaning they were identical, durable, and, for the first time, affordable for the average person. As the balls became harder and faster, the clubs had to adapt. Players moved away from the thin, flexible hickory shafts seen here, which often snapped under the pressure of the new, heavier game. Manufacturers began forging heavy iron and steel heads to withstand the impact. This allowed for more aggressive swings and the kind of high-precision strikes the modern game is known for. These standardized tools allowed Scottish emigrants to carry a finished product with them as they traveled. They didn't just bring the idea of golf to the US, Canada, and Japan. They brought the exact equipment needed to play it. Because every player was finally using the same equipment under the same rules, scores became meaningful across different courses. This paved the way for the first Open Championship in 1860, the beginning of professional tournament play. Standardizing the tools turned golf into a game of objective measurement. A score in St. Andrews now meant the same thing as a score in New York, allowing a localized pastime to become a global competition. Today, that framework is overseen by the R&A and the USGA. They ensure that whether you are playing in Scotland or South Africa, the game remains identical. This map is the modern face of the sport. We've moved from hand-stitched leather to GPS rangefinders and AI-designed carbon fiber clubs that can track a ball's flight to within a few millimeters. The game's reach is now massive, with millions of players in over 200 countries. You can even find high-tech indoor simulators in cities where a natural golf course couldn't possibly exist. This global reach is what allows players like Tiger Woods to become some of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. His success is a direct result of a sport that was already standardized and televised in almost every time zone. That global unity led to the sport's return to the Summer Olympics in 2016, confirming its status as one of the few games played with the exact same rules on every continent. The multi-billion-dollar industry we see today was built on this foundation. While trade and technology provided the growth, it was the early Scottish effort to bring order to the chaos that provided the engine, creating a sport that works the same way no matter where you are.